With nearly 250,000 troops massed on his doorstep, Saddam Hussein has lots of things to worry about. But money isn't one of them. U.S. and Western intelligence agencies believe he has access to billions of dollars stashed away in secret accounts all over the world, money he's used to stay in power. Lots of people have tried to find it over the years, but they haven't had much more luck finding his money than UN inspectors have had finding his weapons.
The man has control over billions of dollars directly and indirectly. Billions of dollars that are outside of Iraq.
The first person to begin looking for Saddam's fortune was Jules Kroll, one of the foremost private investigators in the world. His company had helped track down the illicit fortunes of Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos and Haiti's baby Doc Duvalier. So in 1991, following the Gulf War, the government of Kuwait hired Kroll Associates to do a financial workup on Saddam and to try and locate assets that Kuwait could go after for war reparations. 12 years ago on 60 Minutes, Kroll laid out the bare bones of a multi-billion-dollar financial network.
This is the Executive Committee of Iraq, Inc.
Relying on information from Iraqi defectors, intelligence agencies, and corporate records, Kroll determined that the secret financial network was being run by Saddam's half-brother, Barzan al-Takriti, and his son-in-law, Hussein Kamal, with money they had skinned from Iraq's oil exports.
This is an organized crime activity, and it's been going on for a long time. You got basically one family. I mean, this is their equivalent of the Gambino family.
The report was passed along to the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, which seized $2.4 billion of Saddam's cash, companies, and real estate, which remain frozen today. But Jules Kroll says that much of the network is still in place.
He's had plenty of time to rebuild it. He's had a lot of organizations that have been willing to do business with him in terms of smuggling and doing business through front companies. I think it was a temporary disruption.
Kroll and the government of Kuwait stopped actively searching for Saddam's money back in the 1990s, when the United Nations officially established a fund for Gulf War reparations. But 2 years ago, the search was picked up again, this time by a group called the Coalition for International Justice, a nonprofit organization with offices in Washington and The Hague. Last fall, in a report called Sources of Revenue for Saddam and Sons, a primer on the financial underpinnings of the regime in Baghdad, the coalition found that despite the imposition of newly revised UN sanctions on Iraq, Saddam Hussein's personal treasury is expected to earn $2.5 billion this year. John Fawcett, a financial investigator, conducted the research. This money is all off the books, so to speak.
That's right.
Sort of a slush fund.
Very much so.
To be used however Saddam wants to use it.
Or directed wherever Saddam wants to direct it, yes. It could be his own bank account. It could be something that his nest egg if he gets chased out of Iraq.
What are the sources of revenue?
Mostly oil. It's almost all oil.
Under international sanctions, Iraq is allowed to produce and export oil. But the revenues, about $40 million a day, have to go into a special UN bank account, which is used to pay for food, medicine, and the humanitarian needs of the Iraqi people. But it's no secret that for years now, Saddam has illegally been producing a lot more oil on the side and smuggling out of the country to be sold in Turkey, Jordan, and Syria.
None of this is really hidden. It's right out in the open. It's not surreptitious smuggling of money, gold, diamonds type of thing. This is oil. To smuggle any quantity, you can see it.
And one of the people who saw it was Bob Baer, a retired CIA officer who in 1994 was stationed near Iraq's border with Turkey, working with dissidents trying to overthrow Saddam.
We were trying to find out where he was getting the money from. That was the big question. But the moment I crossed the border, you could see these trucks lined up for 70 miles with oil tanks on the bottom of them. It was smuggled oil. The trucks would come across the border from Turkey, fill up with these tanks of oil, and then they'd go to refineries in Turkey.
Now, this was all going on while there were sanctions.
The Turks knew it. Our embassy in Ankara knew it. The CIA knew about it. The White House certainly knew about it. No one cared.
In fact, the oil smuggling is still going on. And it's not just to Turkey. It's been estimated that Saddam is pocketing $1 billion a year selling illegal oil to Syria through a pipeline that was supposed to be shut down years ago. There are also regular convoys to Jordan. And John Fawcett says Saddam and his family have even been making money off the UN's Oil for Food program.
Most of the contracts appear to have kickbacks to them, meaning if someone wants to get a contract with the Iraqi government, they have to kick money back into the Iraqi government illicitly.
Instead of selling oil to the major oil companies, Saddam sells much of it to small, obscure, privately held companies with no previous experience in the oil business. The names of these companies, which serve as middlemen, are not a matter of public record.
They are established just to buy Iraqi oil and kick back money to it. Some of the most egregious examples are out of Liechtenstein and out of Switzerland. But you see companies in France, Italy, the UK, and several Middle Eastern countries have these companies established also.
Is it possible to identify the people involved with these companies?
You often don't know who is the beneficial owner, or there are several layers of owners and trustees that you can't really get through to work out who really is running this company.
Saddam's profits from the kickbacks and the oil smuggling since 1997 have been conservatively estimated to be more than $6 billion by the General Accounting Office. Former CIA agent Bob Baer believes that some of the money has been used to buy weapons, pay bribes, and buy the allegiance of factions inside Iraq.
I don't think we should consider this as money that he spends on himself necessarily. It's money that he needs to keep in reserve to keep himself in power. And there's a distinction there. I think it's important.
Do you have any idea how much money that Saddam has stashed away in personal bank accounts around the world?
$10–20 billion.
Think that much?
I think that much, sure.
The problem is it's easier to figure out how Saddam makes all that money than it is to figure out where he keeps it. Investigators have long believed that much of Saddam's fortune is here in Switzerland, squirreled away in a maze of secret accounts, dummy corporations, and front companies that are shielded from public scrutiny by Swiss banking laws. The architect of this secret financial network, Barzan al-Takriti, who is Saddam's half-brother, lived in Geneva from 1989 to 1998 as the Iraqi ambassador to the European headquarters of the United Nations. 12 years ago, we called on Barzan at the Iraqi embassy. After some initial resistance, we didn't have an appointment, Barzan actually agreed to see us and scoffed at the idea that he had anything to do with his half-brother's money.
I'm ready to give you an authorization to check with banks anywhere. If there are any funds in my name, under my control, then you may invest them as you wish, and we want 1% back of what you find.
It was spoken with the assurance of someone who had never put his name on a bank account, let alone one in Switzerland where it's not required. In fact, the skeleton of Saddam's secret financial network laid out by Kroll Associates 12 years ago was made up mostly of shell companies registered in tax havens by lawyers representing someone else. Most of the assets were untraceable, with one notable exception: Montana Management, which opened a window onto all the rest. According to records on file in Paris, Montana Management owned 8.4% of one of the world's largest media companies, Hachette, which publishes magazines like Elle, Woman's Day, Road and Track, and Car and Driver. According to Montana Management's corporate records, it was registered in Panama, but it shared an address in Geneva with another corporation called Midco Finance. If we wanted to find Montana Management, they have this address.
Yes, that's all.
How would we find them?
You have to go to Baghdad, I don't know.
To Baghdad?
Yes.
Really, to Baghdad?
Yes, I don't know.
Why Baghdad?
If they are Iraqi. Usually Iraqi live in Iraq.
Bruno Buehler is a Swiss accountant and a member of the board of Midco Finance, which not only shared an address with Montana Management, it also shared some of the same Iraqi officers and directors.
I don't know where they are.
And what about the Iraqis' $67 million investment in Hachette?
They said it's not your business. You tell nobody. Okay.
But you believe that maybe they do own 8% of Hachette?
What I believe, I don't know. I believe in God. What can I tell?
Hachette obviously believed it, after our story, the company, now called Lagardère, froze the shares of Montana Management, and the U.S. Treasury Department put Midco, Montana Management, and Bruno Buehler on its list of people and companies suspected of being agents for Saddam Hussein, and thus prohibited from doing business in America or with American companies.
What do we know about the founders of Montana Management and Midco?
That they're not isolated. They're part of a larger network, clearly.
Did they have a connection with the Iraqi government?
Yes, they were sent over by the Iraqi government to establish this mechanism. Yes, definitely.
We spoke to people in the Swiss government who told us their intelligence agency believes Saddam still has at least 2 operatives in Geneva and that the secret financial network is still in place. But the government minister responsible for identifying and freezing illegal assets, Ambassador Jacques de Watteville, didn't seem to consider it a top priority.
To your knowledge, does Saddam Hussein have any assets in Switzerland?
Well, we have no indication of that. I cannot exclude it, but we have no indication.
Are you aware that your own intelligence agency believes that Saddam Hussein has money here?
I heard information about some businessmen who are involved in dealings, and we have transmitted these names to the judicial authorities. But for the moment, we have no confirmation or concrete elements about these stories.
In 1990, the Kroll report came up with a whole network of people operating in Switzerland, handling Saddam's money. Are you familiar with that report?
No. But if you have a copy, I am interested.
I don't think he's looking very hard. There's certainly a lot of activity in Switzerland vis-a-vis Iraq.
John Fawcett's investigation is ongoing. He now works for the New York law firm of Kreindler & Kreindler, which is suing Iraq and several other countries on behalf of the families of the World Trade Center victims. Fawcett is trying to establish if any of Saddam's money ended up with al-Qaeda.
If we view the evidence in one way, we'd say it's possible.
If he can find a connection and find Saddam's money, the victims' families can put a claim on it.
When you have a nation state that you in effect own, you have all kinds of flexibility. These are not like publicly held corporations that submit quarterly reports. I mean, the reality is that it's very easy to hide assets and hide money.
Investigators agree that Saddam Incorporated has undergone a number of organizational shakeups over the past decade. Most believe the family finances are now being handled by Saddam's 2 sons. Saddam's half-brother, Barzan al-Takriti, was recalled to Baghdad and is now persona non grata in Switzerland. As for Hussein Kamal, Saddam's son-in-law, he was terminated by Saddam several years ago. And we don't mean just fired.
Sit down. What do you see here?
Bunkers, sir.
What are in those bunkers?
Stuff they stole from Kuwait.
Bullshit. I'm talking about millions in Kuwaiti bullion.
You mean them little cubes you put in hot water and make soup?
No, not the little cubes you put in hot water to make soup.
Gold bricks, Conrad.
Saddam stole it from the sheiks. I have no problem stealing it from Saddam. And my guess is he's divided these bricks into several different stashes. Just one of these stashes would be easy for us to take from his deserting army, and that would be enough to get us out of our day jobs. Unless, of course, you reservists are in love with your day jobs.
I don't really have a day job, sir.
But I know you can hear me. Get out of my head.
What?
You'll feel
like this, what? Check it out, yo. This is war, niggas. A duel to the death. You better make sure you're short, sharp, and you got a line hard, cause I strike for the throat and stab him with a deadly note that pierces the eardrums, throws off the equilibrium. Now you're stunned, another victim of the shogun. A spinal tap the cerebellum. So go ahead and try to run in advance as I stand firm in my warrior stance, ready to behead you, dead you, rid your body of a soul and make it an empty vessel. Cause your rhymes ain't punctual, not actual or factual. That's why I verbally attack you.
Yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey
yo, check this $1,000 line for line paragraph causing ruckus towards y'all weak motherfucking analog niggas trying to come into the midst of my digital shit. You get flipped on, slapped on your collarbone and a spike. Cause I don't like snake niggas in my eyesight. Cause I'm so agile and so quick to pull my razor blade sharp sword out the case and chop your face to space shuttle to another place where no trace was left behind. Where the body was laid out for coroners to figure out that it was one swing by the guillotine that decapitated his head from his shoulders.
Hear me? Get out of my head.
Yo. Behold this rapid fire to make gunmen retire. When pristine slugs have penetrated your entire physical. The left niggas critical, Killarmy the black sun. The main all fucking 9 plain stickable. With the sign to control 99. Keep all minds aligned. On myself else we dealt with by the 9. MM, which stands for marksman. Regard the last swordsman. And chop off your head if you don't live in court. And I sincerely love a lot of mathematics. Camouflage fabrics, I got a revolver. Fuck automatics. The black Asiatic. Lick multiple shots at the motherfucking addict. Combine to shake your savage.
Killarmy profiling, mostly rough wildin'.
Soldiers combine to shake your savage.
Killarmy profiling, mostly rough wildin'.
Soldiers combine to shake your savage.
I'm a legendary and Swartz and bionic man like Steve Austin, 7 horsemen. Who ninjas move across high sands. I murder niggas with my bare hands. It's darkness in the who cares. We hang crusades, salute grenades. Do 60 ways like Faye. My pistol has an infrared. There's an eagle loaded with lead. Blast the brains out of arrowheads. I leave MCs and DJs on twin set deathbeds. Underworld status, the black knight like Gladys. Destroying midnight trains. My domain is built like galactics. Beretta 9, a killer machine. Shogun assassin is that nigga who chases you in your dreams. Killer sin, a killer game with the same knife. The deeper Baghdad can steal your life. PR terrorists and Prince Saddam. Who's the Middle Eastern region? It's razor blade season. So all you pretty face niggas is badly bleeding.
Yo, I'm like a landmine scheming on anti. Peeping on the standby flight and blow the crowd with their hands high. From now I amplify sound. Shut the column, see him down. First round, face down. Lace clowns like a nightgown. Light brown, dick him down. Eyes wise, I was sight. Beam on the mic like satellites. Try to stay cream. The travel right, fleeing the scene. Team fight with the livest MCs. She kill the arm, strike your moment of silence. We live degrees while you reading the morph. And that's the reason why your legion fell off. You popcorns wanna be war porns. The war's on now. Pacino won the last of Red Dawn. Open mic session burials, fuck a party out, something terrible. The pain that my niggas bring forth is unbearable, I'm telling you.